We were starting real fast and I just slammed hit record because I wanted to catch
Yeah.
all this. But what I asked was for you to kind of give a background of your story a little bit, which I didn't want recorded to take up time, but it was too dope to not record. So
Hang on.
instead of explaining it to Ashley,
Hang on half a second, though. We're going to have to cut this out. Is the door locked?
I think so.
Because there's milling about, and
That's
I
fine.
don't want him to yank the door.
No, I don't. I think it's locked.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. Sorry.
Okay, so share. No, you're good. You're good. I'll share my story. Okay, so Ashley, I was just sharing this with you. So I come from an entrepreneurial family and background. I literally thought everyone's family owned a business. Like when you get off school, you just go to dad's office and you're with dad until 7, 8, 9 p.m. You go to conferences with them and trade shows, and it's just what you do. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I'm super lucky and privileged to like have that upbringing. It just is amazing when I reflect on it. So, and my brother was actually a lot more entrepreneurial than I was as when we were kids. He was always kind of the leader in that front. You know, we would do buy candy off of eBay, sell that. We would buy all these joke gag gifts, sell that at school until we got all of our shit taken away and had to go to the principal's office, which I still remember that happening. And then, yeah, from there, pressure washing businesses, landscaping, car washing, things like that, you know, anything you can do to make a buck. But it wasn't until I was in junior, senior in high school where the landscaping business really took off. And we had like a small 6-figure company with guys working for us throughout the summer and over a couple of years. So it was a great business. That's where I really learned a lot.
Really cool.
And I left that business and I discovered podcasting. And this is 2013. I was driving to and from Athens, Georgia, just listening to podcasts. And I'm trying to think what I listened to back then. It was Smart Passive Income, Pat Flynn. Yep. And I think Internet Business Mastery. And I can't remember.
Oh, wow.
Like throwback, man, throwback. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, and at that time I had just dropped out of college and I was like, this is incredible. Like there's so much free knowledge on here. And I remember calling my friend and saying, hey man, there's no show out there that tells the in-between story. It's just, I have a $10 million company. I'm the man. Let me tell you about it. Okay. I'm a kid. I'm a teenager. I'm 18 at the time, living with my parents in their basement, just figuring out like, guys, how the hell am I going to do this? I don't have a business idea. I have nothing. What am I going to do? And I was like, I think I'm going to start a show interviewing business owners, telling the story of how they built their business. Like, what were they like as kids, as teenagers, bridging that gap? Because I saw a lot of people own businesses that were not young. They might have started in their 30s, 40s, 50s.
Sure. Yeah.
And what's that story? And I was kind of selfish. Like I wanted to know from me help me understand this. Started the show. Oh, and it was Entrepreneur on Fire. It was the number one show I was listening to. And, which is Chris, how you and I met. I bought Podcaster's Paradise, an awesome course to learn how to create and grow a podcast. Had never touched audio recording, video recording, anything like that before. I had done my own internet marketing. I had done Facebook ads and like online local listings and directory listings for my own businesses. I didn't really understand it as much then, but I had done it and started the show quick. Called Teen. Yeah.
Did you, right before you say that, did you think you knew what you were doing? Now looking back, now this is like 10 years down the road.
That's a good question.
Were you more confident and cocky than you really were at the time? I guess is what I'm asking.
I was definitely probably more arrogant and cocky than confident, for sure. My ego has been destroyed over the years and rebuilt. But I didn't know what I didn't know. So it was just, I need to get more business for our pressure washing business. How can we do that? Cool. There's this online directory called the AHA Connection. And I know for a fact that every mom in our community is on here. And for some reason, every time a mom sees us, they want to hire us because they look at us as their kids. Yeah. So I didn't know it then, but that was target market and speaking to your customer. And we would say, hey, we're 2 young teenagers that are trying to grow our business. Please hire us. And that really worked, which in hindsight is kind of crazy because some of the jobs we were getting for the landscaping were like $25,000, $30,000, like backyard renovations. Yeah. Why the hell would you trust teenagers to do this? I don't know.
Well, because hold on. Yeah. Here's why I asked that question, because one, you just asked. That was it.
Yeah.
Why did they trust you? Because you just closed mouths don't get fed, right? You just freaking open
Sure.
your mouth and ask. But two,
Yeah.
I don't know where you're at in terms of your point in the story, but I remember you on the scene early on when you were, dare I say, that young, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah.
And you were just such filled with confidence, but not bullshit. And I think for me, that's why we always kind of bonded, because I'm like, okay, he's confident, but he's not cocky, and at least he's humble enough to have this childlike wonder of, when I say wonder, of a big question mark over your head in a good way. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just learning. Tell me, help me, whatever.
Oh,
I'm
man.
I'm still a motherfucker, but like I also don't know everything. And I think
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's what, how, just from the outside looking in, like what really kept you in the scene, whatever that means. But
Yeah,
just
yeah.
progress at life at all the stuff you've done.
But you asked that question, like, why would they trust you, these two teenagers, to do a $30,000 backyard renovation? I think there's like something in people that generally want to like fight for the underdog.
Yeah.
And so the idea that you guys were
Yeah.
like kids
Yeah.
really starting out and probably had not been jaded by, you know, crappy work ethic and,
Yeah.
you know, the whole world, and had the opportunity and the ability to kind of show people what you were made of. I think that people love betting on the underdog.
Yeah.
They do. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And Chris, thanks for that, man. That's introspective. And I was just talking to my wife about this the other week because so I got I'm starting my forearm, my full arm sleeve tattoo.
I saw that.
I see that.
And I was there last week. I got the tattoo done last Friday, and I was in the chair for, I don't know, 8.5 hours. I was at the shop for probably 10 plus hours. And we did, I don't want to get too off a tangent, but we did a branding shoot for their company. And so I got to meet all the artists there, and I interviewed them for an hour each last summer. And one of the guys has become a good friend of mine, or a couple of them have, but this guy, and he was like, man, he goes, when we first met, he said, I thought you were being fake, because he's like, you were so happy and just genuine and really curious. And he said, he goes, you scared me a little bit because you smiled with your eyes. And I burst out laughing. Yeah. And I said, no, dude, that's just me. And Chris, it's funny you say that about the curiosity. I was just talking to Kiana about this, that I have always made friends easily over my life, but I've always struggled to fit into one specific place because my interests are so diverse. And I don't say that in like a woe is me complaining type of thing, but I've never been attached to one group, one sector. Man, if you look at my life, it is the most diverse, quirky, unique group of people. Like
don't worry,
we ended up having it's crazy. So I appreciate that, man. But yeah, looking back, I absolutely had that like curiosity and hunger to learn. Dude, that's not changed. I'm just not as naive now on about a couple of things. But jumping back to the story, that's what happened. I joined Podcasters Paradise. You and I met Chris and a couple of other people from that group then. And man, that just thrust me into the podcasting, storytelling, media production world. I never would have thought I was getting into this. I had no interest in creativity growing up. I was more of an operator, sports kind of guy. Just had no interest and fell in love with storytelling. And I didn't know that I had a passion for interviewing and asking questions and learning about people's stories and helping tell their stories and brands and businesses, and just slowly from there. So yeah, I did the podcast. And at that time, I felt like a fraud doing the podcast because I had sold the piece of my business at the landscaping company, and I was trying different things. I waited tables. I tried to start a nonprofit. I got a personal training certification. Again, trying all these different things. Just very confused at life. Had just dropped out of college.
To figure out who you were, right? You're just trying to figure out who you were.
Just who I was. Caught a lot of bullshit for dropping out of college from everyone in my life. Joined and then ended up, my mentor at the time said, hey, Jordan, I'm so impressed with what you did with your podcast. Will you come work for my marketing agency? Worked for his marketing agency for almost 2 years and learned a lot and had a great opportunity. And that really, I mean, to put it to you blunt, guys, like I was 20 presenting to a boardroom of executives that are all double, triple my age, and really getting, like, the owner threw me in the fire in a great way. Learned a ton. And then just without going into too much detail, had some moral conflicts with the owner to where he wanted me to own a piece of the business. I saw stuff he was doing that I didn't agree with. Integrity is very important to me. Your word is your fucking bond. What you say, and Chris, that's probably why you and I connected so well from the get-go. Like what we said is what the truth was.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, that's just who we are.
Yeah.
And I've gotten in trouble over the years. I've been called ruthless and
savage,
brutal
I get
with my
savage
words. Yeah. Savage, where I have been. I want to clarify, like I can be a dick and an asshole, but I'm going to tell you how I feel, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
I've had to learn how to be a little kinder.
Yeah, but I was actually just having this conversation with someone yesterday. There's a difference between being nice and being kind. I will always be kind. That doesn't mean I'm nice. I don't have to say nice things to make you feel better. I have to, in my world, I have to say them in a way that is, kind and for the greater good. But everything that comes out of my mouth isn't going to be nice. And that's just reality.
That. Well, it's true. It's kind of like if someone puts on an outfit and you say, how does that look? You could say, that looks ugly. Okay, you're just being mean. Or you could say, I don't think that shirt goes with those pants. Yeah, I don't think that goes together. Maybe we could try something else. You know, there's two different ways to deliver the same thing.
It's delivery, not the message. And that's for me, the difference between being nice and being kind. I just don't have patience for people who are fake nice. You can always say things in a kind way.
How hard right?
Always.
How long have you been married? Year now? 2 years?
Like almost 2.5 years. It'll be 3 years this November.
How long have you guys been together?
It'll be 6 years this September. Yeah.
So could you
talk about a hard right?
Here's what, because we're kind of on this thread. Tell Ashley about that document that you sent me once about the 100 things you need to know. But my question, helping her out, did that document help now that you've been married 2 years? Are you glad you did it?
Yeah.
And how much has that, off the document, off the marriage, how much has that played into your day-to-day on the topic of, just being a kind person and whatnot?
Yeah, man. So the document is the 100 questions to ask your partner before you get married.
Okay.
And it breaks down categorically: financial, religious, sexual, health, family, all great categories.
Freaking dope.
Really incredible. My parents gave it to me when I asked them, not for their, I don't even know what I did. I told them I wanted to marry her, and I just, not even as much as their blessing, as much as, hey, what's your guys' honest feedback? Yeah. Cause I have a great relationship with my parents. I'm really, really lucky and blessed. And they're polar opposite people that both are a man and woman of integrity. That's where I get it from. And they're going to tell you how they feel for sure. They're not going to sugarcoat stuff. They gave me the list. And ironically, Kiana and I had already talked about probably 60 to 70% of this stuff without intentionally talking about it.
Sure.
Excuse me. For example, do you want kids? What's your religious beliefs? Just all stuff like that. And we had looked at it, and I looked at the questions. I was like, damn, you guys are really arming me with what I need. And it's funny, since then I've sent it to Chris, and I've sent it to probably 10 other men over the last few years. And I didn't know this, but they set me up for such good success, because when I asked my in-laws for her hand in marriage and their blessing, we went out to dinner. I took that shit out, slapped it on the table, handed it to them. And I said, ask me anything you guys want. Ask me anything,
dope.
Which
that's gangster.
Cool.
It's funny. I was not trying to pull a baller move. It was genuinely this. Later on, when my father-in-law spoke at our wedding day, he was like, yeah, Jordan, I knew you were real when you pulled that out and put it on the table. He's like, oh, this kid's not messing around. And it was great. So yeah, that was powerful. And I think, Chris, your question was, how is that all related back into kindness and marriage and things like that?
Yeah. Has that affected?
Can we pause for half a second?
Yeah.
Did you use the sheet?
Did I use the sheet?
Yeah. 100 questions.
It's his fault. He didn't give it to me before.
Okay.
If you would have gave me the sheet, I would have dodged.
I didn't get it before that. I didn't have it. It's new.
True.
He has it now. Yeah.
And what's kind of funnier than that, I knew him prior too. Like, we were hanging out before I got married.
That's why I asked.
Yeah. 100%. But I couldn't have given that advice then.
I will say, not to blow up my boy's mom's spot. I gave her that. Like we're close and we'll talk and stuff. And she's talking about men and stuff. And it's important, right? We have kids together. I'm like, do me a favor. You got to read this document. You got to read this sheet. I sent it to her and I think she did. I think it genuinely helped at least provide clarity to what they were going through at the time. And I don't even remember what it was. I just remembered sending that sheet.
Can somebody get me the sheet?
I have it. I'll send it to you.
I got you. I'll get you the sheet. I'll get you. I've got it on saved docs now because the second we talk about it, and there's a lot of them out there. But yeah, man, I mean, coming back to the kindness, I think it comes down to communication. You know, my wife is much quieter than I am to most people. Once you get to know her, she's wild, man. She's so much fun and amazing. But yeah, I've heard her feelings so much throughout our relationship with just my brashness. I did it fucking 2 days ago. I got annoyed at something she said and I responded in anger. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, that was harsh. And I apologized to her right there. But I said to her, I said, hey, what you just said to me really bothered me too. I'm not justifying what I said, but just so you know, that really upset me, what you just said too. And she was like, oh, well, I see where you're coming from. And then you see where I'm coming from. And we communicate for there. So yeah, man, the kindness being with, because Chris, you know this, I'm a martial artist. I'm a fighter at heart. Like I'm extremely aggressive. In fact,
a well-accomplished, award-winning. Do you really? I was going to say, aren't you like an accomplished, like you won belts? I don't know your world. Sorry. Like you won a bunch of dope ass shit. Let me preface with this.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me preface with this. I am nowhere near the best in the martial arts. I am proud of what I accomplished, but there are many, many people more accomplished than what I have. Yes, I have won tournaments. I have my 2nd degree black belt, and I've accomplished a lot. But
that's a very martial artist person thing to say too.
It is.
Well, dude, I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
When you get your ass beat repeatedly get beat up. I was just telling my friend this the other day. Although I have a coach, I never beat him. Not only did I never beat him, he mauled me, like actually made me question if I should continue karate. Dude, when someone holds your life in their hands and you know they could kill you and they don't, nah, bro, that ain't a good feeling.
I'm so excited for my questions later. You have no idea right now. I'm already thinking about my questions.
Yeah, it's I don't know where we were going from there, but
we're talking about
what were we talking? The kindness,
and the kindness.
Yeah, the respectfulness, things like that. But yeah, man, it's helped a lot. And the kindness and the communication, and it goes a long way.
So you, in a sense, I don't think Ashley
knows nothing.
In a way, are doing
that's gonna get cut up.
In a way that we're doing out here, you're doing somewhat similar. And I don't even know that much. I'm curious. Like you opened up your own shop, shop. You have your own studio. He has this out there in Atlanta.
How about this? Tell us what you do now.
Yeah. How's that?
Yes. Thanks. Yes. We got sidetracked. Let me keep going. So boom, I leave that marketing agency. Great. I start Force Media.
Okay.
At that time, Force Media was just a podcast production agency. This is January 2016. This is before the podcast bubble had really burst. It was bubbling, but it had not burst yet. No video production, no nothing like that. And marketing consulting, because marketing was my thing.
Sure.
Companies didn't really want podcasts that much at that time because they didn't see the return on investment. So I had a couple of clients. It was tough making money. I had more money coming from marketing. Marketing consulting could be email marketing, could be Facebook ads, Google ads, a lot of digital marketing, things like that, marketing consulting. And
were you doing websites, all that stuff?
No, I wasn't building any websites, but I could help kind of guide people on what to do. Because that was facilitate things like that. Kind of be a project manager, operations manager. So a year into the business, I had an orthodontic client that asked me if I could shoot videos for them for patient testimonials. Never had a video camera before, but I kind of saw the social media trends and I was like, hey, let me get into this. I bought a Canon 70D, couple lights, Rode microphone, shot my first patient testimonials. From there, I fell in love with video production, filmmaking, and storytelling from that avenue, but I had no skills in it at all. So 2017 was me figuring out how to use a camera and then also building up our digital marketing services. I started buying online courses, really just trying to figure out what do I want this company to be, because I could not compete at all. And I'm not, and I've when I tell this to people, it sometimes doesn't make sense. I am not a natural born creative in the generic sense, meaning I'm not the guy that's going to put good color palettes together. I'm not the guy that's going to interior decorate a room or know what fonts or graphics is going to look good. But in terms of viral marketing concepts, just my form of creativity is a lot different. And for anybody listening out there, I think if someone tells you you're not creative, I was told that a lot. Like I was made fun of for dancing, for singing, for my arts and crafts. It was so I went deep into sports and deep into martial arts and things like that. And I pretty much shut off my creative side, which is not healthy to do at all. You should really explore that. And thinking back, that hurt me a little more as a kid and teenager than I realized, because I just never explored that. And I got to explore it as an adult. But the difference was now I was a businessman coming into the creative world. So I had all these friends that are way more talented artists than me that can't make a dollar. And meanwhile, I'm slowly making money in the creative industry and building momentum quickly.
Something's happening to my co-host. I don't know what.
These guys reading my diary out loud. That's all.
Yeah. He's excited.
Like, right now, he's the equivalent like, yeah, what he said.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm your hype
that's
man.
what's happening. So I also want to preface with this.
I love the titty boy.
I started building friends in the creative industry that taught me so much about each sector. Someone taught me about audio production. Another person taught me about how to use a camera.
Sure.
Another person taught me about graphics and things like that, to where it's like, okay, slowly I'm building my tool belt. I think of life like a video game. You build experience points and tokens and things like that. So I'll wrap it up with this. 2018 is when I think Force Media really started, which was cool. I bought these online courses, probably spent like 10 grand. And I was like, holy shit, I can sell creative video production services as lead gen tools to help generate new leads and new business for my customers. And that's where it started, was, okay, cool. We're going to go into a dental office. We're going to make videos, a branding video, testimonials, all about your practice, run ads online, send you guys to landing pages, send those leads over to your business. Boom. You invested $3K with us. You're making now 10, 20K a month off our services. Guys, that was 2018. And since then, that is literally what we do present day. So we are now present day. We are a full service video production and marketing agency. Companies hire us to run all their online marketing campaigns. Everything's tracked. You spend X amount with Force Media, you're going to get a 2 to 10X return on investment. Again, Chris, going back to the no bullshit thing, marketing companies are so fucking snaky. It burns me up inside. Yeah. And it's just rinse, wash, repeat. I don't give a shit about that. If we're not getting you a return on your investment, we will literally fire ourselves. That is our promise. We don't do long-term contracts. And that's what we do. I love helping small businesses. I come from a small business family, so I know every dollar that comes in and out actually really matters. And I love learning about new businesses. So that's the marketing side of the business. We also have a full video production arm that just does one-off production projects. Just this last month, we're doing a big surgery documentary. Our longtime ophthalmology client, they want to tell the story in like a documentary style, this person's before and after of their facial reconstructions, not facial reconstruction, eye reconstruction surgery. So that's what we do in a nutshell.
I have a question about that. Did you find success in terms of the business, and this is a selfish curiosity, in terms of just putting your head down, that whole one client, one product, one channel approach, if you will? Did you kind of do that with your business? Because everyone and their mom post-COVID now has a video agency, a podcast agency. They all rediscovered, and it feels like 2013 all over again.
Yep.
To me. And I'm saying that to you because we were around in those spaces where it's like, okay, now we're starting to see the cycle. It's not new again. Do you think you've stayed in business that long because you just got really good at what you're good at and not try to add a bunch of shit and be all things to all people?
No, man, I think we stayed in business because honestly, I'd probably rather die than give up in life. Like,
fair.
No,
Stubborn.
I probably stubbornness. And I think I probably should have left a couple times. Well, shit, man, I did. See, here's the thing. I skipped over the whole part of my life where I broke my back and went to hell and back with that. Like, we're talking about the business side of things. So no, dude, I shut down the business. I shut down the business for 3 months when I went on sabbatical. Our revenue was down 95, 98%. And I had to kind of build everything back over the last 18 months. Yeah, that's a whole part of the story. Honestly, man, that's probably the more important thing to talk about, because every time, like, it's funny, man. Every time we talk about business. No, dude, I was just thinking about this today. I don't get, it's funny, man. I used to want to be a bit, I'll tell you what it is, man. I wanted to be like my father. I obsess about my dad, and I always, let me think of the best way to describe this. I come from a wealthy family. We didn't have money growing up. Neither of my parents, my dad's joke is they're so broke they couldn't afford to pay attention. And but we never wanted for anything growing up.
Yeah.
I remember when my dad started making real money, I was a late teenager, and things changed. And I was like, fuck, Dad, like, this is incredible.
Yeah.
But you have expectations on you of, hey, are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Are you going to follow in your dad's footsteps? Are you going to take over the business? And he asked me to. He asked me when I was in my early 20s, will you take this over for me? And I told him, no, it's not what I want to do with my life. But I definitely always had to tell him no.
Yeah.
No, only because I knew I really didn't want to be a doctor.
Okay.
I know that for sure. Now, I want to preface this. And he asked me this early on. He said, if I die, will you help take care of the business? That I would do. If something happened to my dad and my mom needed my help, I'd drop everything now and I'd help them to do whatever I need to, 100%. But I'm not going to, like, I'm not my parents. I'm my own man. So it's like, I'm going to do what I want to do with my life. But if you need me, I will help. Yeah. I will help, which I've done the last couple years now that I can really help them in business. But yeah, man, when I think back about it, man, I just wanted to be an entrepreneur. Now I can't stand the word, because I see that, don't get me wrong, I think owners can be great leaders and they're typically the one taking that first big step. But dude, I'm nothing without my team.
Yeah.
I'm the worst editor on my team. I'm the worst person on video on my team. I'm one of the best marketers. I'll fucking, I'll do that. Like, I'll go to bat for myself for that, but I'm not even close to the best. And now that I see it, 2 through 10 in a company is what keeps you alive. Number 1 just gets the company going. And we're like the jump start to the engine. Sometimes we'll guide the ship, but nah, man, that's definitely how I feel. So when I lost my train of thought again. What was your question?
Told him no. You told him no. Was it hard to tell him no?
I said, well, but the original question was, how'd you break your back?
Stop stealing all my questions.
All right.
Chris is the worst.
Yeah. Okay. So let's backtrack right now. Actually, no, it wasn't then. 2017 March. By the way, I'm weird with dates. My wife always tells me, she's like, how do you just remember that immediately? It's just how my brain works. It's like a calendar flipping. 2017 March, I'm out in California pitching a huge fucking lifestyle outdoor photographer on a podcast for him. I flew out there. My brother and his best friend take me hiking. We go out hiking. We're having a great time. We're hiking back. There's a rock ledge that maybe like a 45-degree angle. And we walked through it to get there. We walk back. I slip. I miss my right foot. I try to grab on. Don't grab anything. Immediately fall off the rock ledge onto another rock embankment about 6 feet down. Bounce off those rocks another 4 feet down into a ravine of water with jagged, sharp rocks all around. My brother and his friend Savior thought I died immediately, because right 10 feet ahead is a 200-foot drop. They don't see me anywhere. They just hear me scream, boom, hit. I'm in shock. That's about 2 seconds. The water's freezing. It's February. I've got all my camera gear on me. I break all my gear. Smack my head, smack my shoulder, smack everything. I'm in fucking pain.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God, number 1, I'm alive. Number 2, that was crazy. Let's just get out of this. Get up, soaking wet, change clothes, get all my gear. It's all broken. Luckily, I can walk. We have a 2-hour hike back to the car. By the time I get back to the car, my adrenaline has worn off. I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Thank God we're in California. We go back, smoke a couple joints. I pass out on the couch. I wake up. I can barely move. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like in agony right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to preface at this point, because this is important. I was training for an international tournament for my karate school. We were going to have a friendship tournament between the USA and Japan. First one in a long time. And so I was 2017, like in peak top fighting physical shape at this point. Probably best shape of my life.
Did you tell the Rocks
2 weeks,
that? The Rocks
they felt
didn't
that.
care.
They didn't give a shit
They felt
about
it.
that.
They said,
They felt
take your
it.
fighting shape and suck
Yeah.
it, buddy.
So 2 weeks after that, I am at my apartment and I bend over to tie my shoe, and I feel something like spasm in my back, and I can't sit up. And every breath I take, my back constricts. So my roommates are there, and I'm like, guys, like, I really think I need to go to the doctor right now. And I had just talked to my mom a few minutes prior, and I was like, let me give my mom a call, see if she's still close by. I was like, Mom, I don't know what's happening with my back. If you could pick me up real quick, we got to go to the doctor. By the time she picked me up, I'm literally doubled over, struggling to breathe. And by the time I get to the doctor, they have to put me in a wheelchair, wheel me in. Turns out I have a back spasm. And I was like, okay, that was horrible. I literally thought I was going to die because my breathing was constricting. So that's March. July of that summer, we had a black belt test. And the way the black belt test works is it's about a 5-hour test. And at the end, brown black belts will fight a black belt. It's more of a rite of passage because you can't, the people competing almost could never beat a black belt anyways. But after 5 hours, you're exhausted. You can barely move. So I'm selected to fight this kid. He's like 18. And my job is rough him up a little bit, scare him. And then at the end, you let them win. So my technique was I was going to scare him by throwing a kick to swipe across his face to start the match. Like a lightning fast kick. I wasn't going to hit him, Ashley. I wasn't going to hit him. I promise. I like the guy.
And so the reason I'm reacting like this is because I have a back injury and it's just hurting me.
Well, it's going to get way worse.
No.
So I throw the kick, which, by the way, it's called a shajogeti kick. It's where you put your hands on the ground, you kick up to the air. I've thrown this kick thousands of times.
Can you do it now?
I'm not going to do it now, but
worth a try.
So I threw the kick and I immediately felt something tear in my lower back, and it sent electricity up my spine and down my spine.
Down to your toes. Yeah.
So good and bad thing right here. We're taught to, so my pain tolerance, I've been injured my whole life. I've broken, I don't even know how many fingers, both my wrists, ankles, toes, torn ACL, tons of stitches, you name it. I've had the injuries. We're trained that basically, unless you're dying, you keep going. You don't stop. So I felt the pain and I just kept fighting. And the match, fought for 3 minutes, finished, walk out, immediately leave the room, lay down, put my legs up, and my friends come outside and they're like, yo, are you okay? And I'm like, no, my back is really hurting right now. So that happens. Fast forward, I was testing for my 2nd degree black belt 2 weeks later. I test for that and I keep fighting. I keep training and I just keep working on it because I can move, I can walk. What's the big deal? Well, fast forward 6 months. I'm in so much pain. I can't sit for more than 10, 15 minutes without being in pain. I'm losing weight. I'm not feeling good. I can't work out anymore. I get MRI. It says that I have 2 torn discs, L5, S1.
Oh, me too.
Herniated discs. Okay, well, we'll just have to talk afterwards about this because I have lots of recommendations.
Hell.
It's horrible. So over the next year, I probably lost 20, 25 pounds. I was hurting so much I couldn't move. I did literally everything you can imagine under the sun. Everything but surgery, truly everything. I have my dad as a doctor. Like I literally have the gold mine of medicine. There's
just
no
call him up or go to his house and
it's like, but NBA athletes, NFL athletes, like actors, everybody comes to this clinic. I'm not getting better. In fact, I'm getting worse, like fucking quickly getting worse. I start suffering from sleep deprivation because I have chronic pain every day, not sleeping well at night, started having brain fog, really started affecting my emotions, affecting my drive, my work ethic, my testosterone, all these things. My dad ends up fighting this doctor out in Texas named Dr. Kevin Pauza. And he had created this procedure called disc seal. So instead of removing a disc or fusing a disc, they take a substance called fibrin that seals the tears inside your disc, that stops the inflammation, because when you have disc tears, it leaks spinal fluid that then compresses against your disc, that causes inflammation, that causes herniations, and it's just one horrible cycle.
Yeah.
Which is what I was going through. We do a consultation. I'm a candidate for the surgery. We fly out there. I go with my parents. We have this all set up. Do the surgery. That shit hurt. Oh my God, that hurts so bad.
How long
they
was the
injected
surgery?
these? How long was it? Not long, man. Probably 15 to, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes in total. But they injected these needles that were probably like 7 to 9 inches long into your spine. Dude, I was numbed up, but I felt it, man. I fucking felt it. I couldn't move because I was awake, by the way. You have to be awake for this procedure. So, oh my God, dude, I'll never forget that pain.
It's so
and
bad.
I go into the procedure. So just to be clear with this, like I could move. It just hurt. Like anyone listening right now has an ache and a pain. Let me tell you right now. There is nothing that compares to the spine. I'll go on record saying that. I don't care if it's your knee, your shoulder. No, there's no pain that compares to it, because if your lower back hurts, when you lift your neck, it hurts. Everything hurts when you use it. So
it's life altering.
It's life altering. It's life altering. So I do the procedure. That shit does not work. I come out of there and it felt like, so before going in there, I had full range of motion, could bend down, touch my toes, do everything. I could not bend over 1 inch after the surgery. It felt like someone took cement, poured cement into my back, let it harden, and said, good fucking luck, Jordan. So I tell them all this. I'm like, it'll get better. You got to do rehab. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months goes by. This shit is not getting better. By this point, so like to present day, I'm 185. I went from 185. So from when I hurt my disc a year prior to 6 weeks, 3 months after surgery, I dropped 40 pounds. So I was down to 145. People asked me if I had cancer. They said I looked very sick, which, by the way, I looked horrible. Like I looked very frail and very sick. And unfortunately, my medical team completely dropped me. They made no effort to help me. They offered another surgery, all this bullshit stuff. So fast forward from that, I was in a very dark place. 2020 is a close second for the worst year of my life, but I was extremely, extremely depressed, very suicidal, just really in a horrible place. Like it even hurts to think about just how rough of a time I was having. So 2019, I realized, cool, this medical team's not going to help me. And I start doing rehab on my own. I joined a gym, and my goal was every week, if I can chip away at this cement in my lower back, I just want to get this range of motion back. 18 months of rehab, it worked really well. I probably put back on 30 pounds, started working out again, not the same athlete, but really getting much happier, healthier, sleeping better. Proposed to my now wife in 2019. Like life's really coming up. I see the other side. I'm like, oh my God. Number one, I'm really glad I never did anything too serious to myself, because it was like, man, there was definitely just, because in the dark times, you can't see a way out. And then let's see.
I was just going to ask you, what's something you've learned about yourself going through that, now looking back, that you didn't think you had in you at the time, as confident, as badass as you are?
It learned that my confidence and my value came from my physical attributes and my athleticism and my strength. So here's another fun fact. I was always really, really small and short and tiny growing up. I had a 10-inch growth spurt in high school. It was fucking crazy. I grew rapidly in like a year and a half. But I was always made fun of, not bullied in like, oh my gosh, I'm bullied, my life was really hard kind of way, but like, hey, Jordan's the short kid. What could the girls would say, when you're older and taller, we'll date you. Like, you're just a cute little kid right now. And it's one of the reasons I started martial arts, because I never wanted to feel weak. I always wanted to be able to defend myself and fight back. And I did that. I built myself into a weapon, to where like when you walk around, because it's a balance between cockiness and confidence, but when you train long enough and you fight enough people, you start walking around and you're like, no, if I got in a real situation, like I could fuck somebody up. Like I could really, really hurt someone and do damage to multiple people at once and not be afraid. Like once you start walking around with no fear, it's a kind of a dangerous thing. So once I hurt myself and people started criticizing me, saying I was weak. I mean, guys, I got to the point where like a toddler could come in and rob me. Like there's nothing I could have done about that. So who are you when you're not strong?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you when you can't look in the mirror? Who are you when you feel like shit every day? And that's what I learned about myself. Whereas I had an ego that was revolving around my athleticism and my body. And I had to kill that guy. I had to destroy that and rebuild myself into someone else. And I wish I could say it got better from there. But honestly, it got a lot worse. When 2020 rolled around, let's see, COVID happened. You guys remember April 2020, the world shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we had a really tragic, just horrible situation. My uncle committed suicide very publicly.
I'm sorry. That's hard.
And it was all over the news. And we went up to New Jersey. It was a very stressful time for us. And I honestly think this is what led to my back spasm that happened. So a couple days later, I'm at my parents' house and we're just hanging out. And I go outside and I'm playing basketball. And by the way, at this point, guys, like I'm good. Like I'm probably 85, 90% fucking back from my surgery. I'm strong. Chris, I'm running a Ronin-esque camera with GH5s and lenses for like 8-10 hours. Like, dude, I'm good. I'm good. My body is great. I'm feeling great. I'm not 100%.
Very heavy.
It's a very heavy camera. I'm not 100%, but I'm like really, really good. Bend over to pick up a basketball. And I felt like someone stabbed me in my spine with a hot knife, just right through my fucking spine. And I walk inside and I collapse inside and my parents can see something's wrong. And I was like, guys, I got to go home. I get in the car to leave. Can't even make it up the hill. I fall out the car, collapsed, not crying, not yelling, like screaming bloody murder. Like someone had just shot me. I was in so much pain. The pain was shooting up my spine. I called my parents, bawling, crying, please come pick me up. I can't move. I'm in way worse shape than the first back injury, way worse. They take me home. I'm in bed for days. I can barely lift my neck. I can barely move. And guys, it was a fucking back spasm. It was a back spasm. Mm-hmm. But COVID's happening, so there's not a lot of stuff open. So I'm hurting I can barely move for a couple of weeks. Finally get to a point where I can move around again. July, I get COVID. Well, if you remember then, there was no rapid test. So I'm at home for 13 days. While I'm at home, I have another back spasm in the shower. I fall out of the shower. Can't move. I'm at home for like 27 days. I end up herniating my upper disc at home, just simply trying to move a table out of the way. So now my lower back is fucked up and my upper back is fucked up. I have COVID. I'm losing weight. I feel terrible. And from there, let's see. I'm trying to figure everything out. Nothing's working, not getting better. I have a COVID negative test, but I feel horrible. I have a lot of brain fog. I don't have my taste and smell, which to be frank, that's been 3 years since then. I still don't have good taste and smell since then. It's permanently damaged. But I didn't have any taste and smell for about 6 months. And what I didn't realize was all the muscle relaxers and painkillers that I was taking was killing my healthy gut microbiome. So I started having digestion issues and brain fog. All the while, guys, they'll destroy you. They'll destroy you. So all the while, guys, we're just trying to plan my wedding. And I'm in a worse place than I was in 2018. So my wife and I made a deal. Let's just get married and then we'll reevaluate all my health after this. So 2021 rolls around. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start with a new doctor, a new chiropractor. And by the way, guys, like I have seen so many surgeons and I have the first episode of my podcast, Find Your Edge, that I have right now. I do a whole hour-long episode on this because I'm honestly just scratching the surface. Like there's even crazier stuff to this. So 2021, I start working with a new chiropractor named Dr. Veronica Garcia. She changed my life. Go on a supplement regimen from my dad's clinic. Go gluten-free, dairy-free, a food elimination diet, supplements every single day. I started taking a greens drink every morning because remember, I had to heal my gut now. Fuck the back. I need to heal my insides just to be even feel good again.
Function, yeah.
function. So start doing that. Immediately start feeling better. Start gaining weight, having clarity, no more brain fog, feeling good, feeling good. Start working with my chiropractor. I'm like, oh my God, I'm seeing more results from her in 3 months that I've seen from people in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
She then introduces me to a personal trainer, physical therapist, CrossFit coach that really understands the body. His name's Jacob Hamacher. He's still my coach today. I fucking love these people. They're the MVPs in my life. So then I realized, okay, I've healed all my gut issues, but I really want to become an athlete again. And I can't even bend over to pick up a pencil off the floor. I think I need to take time off of work. So Ashley, you asked earlier, do I enjoy what I do? I love what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I was hating my life because I was working. Money was good. Business was good, but I was in so much pain every day. I just wanted to feel good again and be an athlete. I want to be able to hold a camera. I want to be able to just live normally. And I was like, the one thing I haven't done this whole time is take time off work. I moved out when I was 19. I've never stopped working. I've never missed a bill in my life, never been late on a payment. I'm a hard worker, but I got to take time off work and just focus on my health.
Mm-hmm.
Looked at the finances with my wife and I was like, babe, if you work a little more and make more, and with the money we have right now, we can cover everything for 3 months and we'll be okay. Let's see how this works. When I shut down the business in 2021, April, we were doing about 35,000 a month in revenue. And we had about $50,000 come in, Chris. That last 2 weeks, we had like $50K worth of work come in. And guys, I had tried to hire a manager and do all these things. It wasn't working. Like I needed to fully focus on myself. I remember I called all my clients and I basically fired them. And they understood. They're like, Jordan, we support this. I let my team go. I kept one client, one landscaping client who's still my client today. I love the guy, Rick. And everyone was very supportive and they understood because they'd seen me for 4 years with my horrible injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Shut down the business, did 3 months of the sabbatical, and it was the greatest decision I could have ever made. It like 10x'd my recovery because I did training 4 days a week. I did therapy 5 days a week. So I was probably doing between training and therapy 6 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Your job turned into just becoming healthy again. Like that was your job.
Just becoming healthy again. Yeah. And this is what I got to. There's no amount of money that I could make that would be worth the pain and anguish that I felt every day. Mm-hmm. I didn't fucking care anymore. I didn't have a desire. Chris, you know me. I know Ashley, we're just getting to know each other, but Chris, you know me. Like, it's not me. For me not to care, for me not to try, for me not to do my best, that's not me.
No.
And that's what I did, guys. So when we started back the first month in business, I think we made like $800 that first month back. And that was August 2021. The business reopened. So it's funny when people ask me how long we've been in business, it's technically 7 years.
Yeah.
But it's barely 2 years being reopened.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, since then, it's just been a grind. We've built back to where we were before. New office, bigger team, better quality, better products. And I think because of that, I love what I do. But I love a lot of things.
Real quick, do you find yourself being a better leader now? Having gone all, not just through that mental shit, but just working on your mind and body for those couple months.
Man, 100%. My compassion for other people, my understanding for people is on a such deeper level now. And what matters to me in life is different. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I love business. And when I work with clients, I'm very focused, but that shit ain't everything.
Yeah.
After our interview right now, I'm going to go meet my wife at home, have dinner, go over to her in-laws. Like my life is not my work anymore. It doesn't consume me. And again, if I have to, I will. Sometimes you got to double down. Like we had a production a couple of days ago. We had 2 back-to-back 14-hour days. Cool. I don't want to do that every day, but when you got to do it, you got to do it. But no, your health is your wealth. It doesn't matter how much money you make. If you don't feel good, you can't enjoy it. You can't spend it. So that is really the journey of my back. So present day, guys, it's no walk in the park. Like I have such a regimented routine. I am 2 days a week with my trainer. I'm 2 days a week on my own. We have an extremely customized program that is not fun. No one likes to work. No one will work out with me anymore. My workouts suck. They're brutally hard, not in a fun way. I see my chiropractor minimum of once a week. I do the sauna 1 to 3 times a week. I take supplements every day. I meditate every day. I do daily greens every single day. And I don't say any of this to brag because you see these videos online. Well, I wake up at 4 a.m. and
Like
I
Goggins
start my
and all
day
that
like
stuff.
this. It's like, yeah. It's like, no. I'm not that. Like I
You know,
struggle.
He lives
I do.
maybe
I
right down
like
the street
Goggins.
from here. We see him
Goggins,
running around in the morning
dude,
sometimes.
I love Goggins. I think Goggins is an awesome guy,
I don't
but
follow him that much. I just see all the clips that come out from him.
me too. I've listened to a lot of interviews. I've read his book. I think the guy's the real deal for sure. But I don't say all of this to be like, look at me, look at how structured I am. No. I'm structured out of necessity because when you're, my guys, I lived in the darkness. Like I was consumed by it. You know, I've never shared this with anybody before, mainly because it makes me sad. The razor blades.
Tell me.
Yeah, the razor blades in the James Bond movies, just the single blades that he does. I always liked those. I always thought those were cool. Turned out they're fucking hard to shave your neck and face. It'll cut your skin up. But I remember it was 2018. I was in my apartment and I was trimming my neck. And guys, it was just a horrible, horrible day. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, if I cut my neck right here and I bleed out, all my pain will go away. All my pain will finally go away. And the only reason I didn't do anything is my wife was in the other room. And I was like, I could never do this to her. I could never do this to her. Okay, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. And, that's why, especially after losing my uncle to suicide, it's so, like, I know what that's like to feel that darkness. You got to think about the people around you that love and care about you, because that's what keeps you going when the times are tough. And, but today it's hard work. I roll out my body every day. I really take good care of myself. And it's funny because everyone in my life knows now, like I have all my back contraptions, like literally here, I've got next to me, I've got my massage gun, my hypervolt. I've got a neck decompression thing right here on my door. I've got a lot of stuff. So my life is revolved around that. Like if you see me moving a lot, like I'll do this stuff and stretching my shoulders because my upper disc, I still have issues. I still have spasms, but present day, guys, life's fucking amazing because I feel good. A good friend of mine, my sensei's wife, asked me at a party on Saturday. She said, "Are you out of pain?" And I said, "No, I've had daily pain for 5 years." Which, funny fact, I have lost more hair in the last 2 years than ever. Dude, I'm going to have to trim it off or do something. I'm thin and bad. Like the stress, like the physical stress, the toll it's taken on my body has been, I know, man, I saw you. You look handsome as fuck though.
This isn't shaved. It just fell out from my last divorce. I just went.
Yeah. No, the stress
off
is
my
real.
head like a burning building. My hair.
The stress is real. So
I didn't catch that in your divorce. Praise Jesus.
Yeah.
I caught a lot of other shit. Not that.
So that's kind of my story right now, where it's funny because, whenever we talk about business, like I'm happy to talk about business and I love it. But when I tell people this story, when I share it, and it's a balance, because sometimes I don't like to talk about it because I live with it daily and it's like, shit, let's just talk about something else. But I have so many people reach out to me now with back injuries.
Yeah.
That it's funny. I'm meeting with Chris, Advanced Fight. We're hanging out tomorrow. We're doing our quarterly world domination meeting where we just talk about each other's lives and what we're going to do. And I think I'm going to probably start putting out a little more personal content on the health side just to help people, not to be some health guru or anything like that, but I'm like a bridge between someone that's in a horrible place that doesn't know what to do and a doctor that has too much medical knowledge. I'm kind of like that in between where I really do have a lot of experience. And that's the story. So long answer. That is how I broke my back.
Jesus,
I got rear-ended. The end. It was not.
I've been in car accidents too. Yeah, they suck.
It was not anything like this, but I will personally tell you, if you think when someone says, "Oh, my back hurts," it's like, "Oh, suck it up, you big baby." It literally affects every aspect of every single solitary thing you do. I thought for 6 months that your feet were that your toes were supposed to tell you they were there. My doctor was like, "Nah, bro, you're not supposed to know about your toes. Like they're there, but you're not supposed to like feel electricity in them."
I don't even. Is there a way to have you back on one of these days?
Dude, of course.
You need to come out here because here's why. We're time limited a little bit. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Ashley has some wowing out questions that
They're my weird questions.
She asks every, and they're fun because at this point, I want to get into that, but like, first of all, I'm sorry all that happened because I do know you personally, and we have talked, and I remember talking to you in 2021, and you think you know people, but you don't know like what's really going on, or at least the depths. So like my heart goes out to you. Now I feel like an asshole calling you last summer. Ooh, the world.
No, dude, no, not at all. Because that's like, and keep in mind, man, like I said this before, when you're going through it, sometimes you don't want to fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about
Yeah.
your life. Let me hear about something else. Like I deal with this every day.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's my life.
I definitely told you a novella last year, but it helped. And I get it too, because now I'm at that point where I get it. So
yeah.
Hard right.
Hard right. What's the most interesting thing people don't know about you? And it can't be that you broke your back.
Yeah. Or that you're
The most
karate champ.
Interesting thing that people don't know about me. Okay. We can't say that one. We can't say the karate one. I was a magician as a child. I performed in front of thousands of people. Let me just clarify this. Whatever I do to 100%. I'm fucking hardcore about it. I participated in a talent show as a kid, performed in front of thousands of people. My parents would drop me and my brother off at restaurants, and we do street magic and magic at tables for people to try to make money and things like that. I was hardcore about it. Yeah.
How does one become a child magician? Like, what is the trajectory of that?
Yeah. I'll tell you exactly what it was. We discovered this company called Illusionist, and it was an online magic store, and they'd have all these crazy tricks. And we just started buying these tricks. I don't even know how we got into it, but we just started doing it, and you just buy different tricks. I was really into card decks. So I like to do tricks where nothing was fake, because it was fake, people could tell. So if you could misdirect people and make them believe something else, that's how you would do it. But no, literally would buy DVDs, buy courses, and train and watch them. I would sit in my room, watch people play in the cul-de-sac while practicing my tricks. And my mom would be like, you got to come downstairs. I'm like, I'm not. I have to learn this, and I'm going to practice this. And that's how you do it. I have an extremely obsessive, quirky personality. When I get into something,
I can't get over this childhood magician thing. When's the last time you did magic?
20 minutes ago, under the table.
Yeah, no.
Interview.
I'll still do honestly, years. It's been years. And then my second one is I could have become a professional bowler. I bowled in a league for years. I bowled at 300. I have all my own balls. I was a very, very good bowler. I'm not going to be.
Were you the executive producer on Kingpin also, or what?
Wait,
I wasn't, but I was the president of my bowling league when I was 20. So,
when's the last time you bowled?
Real quick, hold on. Before we move on to that, fun fact: you may know this being in.
I have like 12
magic.
more bowling questions.
Because I have family that were like magicians. Did you know that the original?
Stop.
They really were.
Stop.
You know him too.
Stop.
I'll say his name after.
What is the difference between a magician and a magician?
A professional like stage show magician. They're on TV, the whole bit, like a magician.
I hate magic.
The original Ronald McDonald was a magician.
Do you guys want to learn a trick?
Yes,
absolutely, right now.
Okay,
immediately, right now.
This is.
Do you all have your credit card?
Do
you all have your credit cards on you? Do you have a credit card or a hard card that you can take out on you?
Yes, I don't, but Chris does, so it's fine.
Chris, take yours out. Okay. So here's what I want you to do. This is how you make a card disappear. Now, it's just the key to magic is its layering step. So it's constant misdirection from the very beginning. And this is one you got to practice. It's all about angles, and it really may not look good with us being on camera right here. But what you do is you hold it, Chris, index finger, middle finger. And the key is you throw it and you 1, 2. And when you throw it away, you hold on to it with your thumb. Did it look like it went away? I couldn't tell there from the camera.
Didn't it?
Okay.
How did we end up on a magic tutorial?
But like,
okay. So it's very simple. Now watch my hands from this side. Watch my hands from this side. Okay. 1, 2, when I bring this in, thumb comes here, holds it down, 3. So turn at my hand, it's gone right there. Now, I don't have a deck of cards on me, but imagine this. Imagine this.
I couldn't even get it away.
Oh, well,
1,
also
2,
keep in mind,
and-
I've practiced with cards in my hands for years. Like, you have to physically know how to handle cards, which is funny. I probably should do Magic more now because I had small hands as a kid, so it's tough with the cards. But anyways, so here's the key with it.
I'm learning.
It's motion. So if you're moving around, and if I just do this, hold on, let me see. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
it's not going to look great.
Like,
but if you're like, all right, everybody, 1, 2, 3, and then you throw it away. But what you can do is, and then you can be like, all right, and back. Well, I flicked out of my hands because it's so slippery. But you see what I'm getting at there. Anyways, that's perfect. I love doing that one. And what I'll do is, I was at a bachelor party a couple weekends ago. I don't drink anymore, barely any at all, because it hurts my back. So I'm around, when you're around drunk people all the time, it's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
So I'll look at my friend, he's drunk as shit and he's looking at me and I was like, you see your credit card? I'm gonna make it disappear. And you do it in front of people. That's how you get it in the moments and stuff like that. So
I'd like to personally
that,
thank you, because I have a sneaking suspicion everywhere we go now, Chris is going to hide a credit card.
Are you
I can
kidding
just
me?
see it now. It'll be like,
Because I could throw cards. If Gambit from the X-Men and I had a contest of who could throw cards into shit, because I practice that, like that motion.
It's the motion. It's yeah. Anyway, so
okay, so
there's
you're
your
a
answer.
childhood magician.
I love it.
I don't even remember what the second one was.
Bowling. You had a bowling.
Oh, the bowling question. I have lots of bowling questions. When's the last time you bowled?
It has probably been a year. It doesn't feel good on my back. That's the one thing that I lost.
Sound great.
And I'll be honest with you, like, I get an obsessive personality, and my grandfather was a bowler. My dad's a bowler. That's how we bowled together. And I lived down the street from a bowling alley. So we got 50-cent game coupons. So I'd bowl 5-10 games for $5 during the summer. Really loved and learned how to do it. Joined my dad's bowling league when I was a teenager. And that was like our father-son Monday night bonding for like 7 years. And just got really, really good at it. And it's not that hard to become a good bowler. It's just understanding how the lanes work, how the balls work. Yeah. The magician, honestly, I think it's harder to be a magician than it is a good bowler.
So historically, I worked, I don't even know if you know this, long ago, I was a concierge in Las Vegas casino. And so we would get all these tickets, like comps to go see whatever. I historically hate magic. I find it like super insulting. Like, I know that card did not disappear. I can't figure it out.
Obsessed with it.
But like, I hate it because it makes me mad.
Ashley, do you know it didn't disappear? Do you know for sure?
Yeah. Science. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That motorcycle, it got here somehow. Thanks, David Blaine. No. It drives me nuts that I can't figure stuff out.
Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe in aliens?
I mean, like, in what sense? Like the little green guys in the spaceship? Not necessarily. Is there something else out there? 1000%.
Okay. Then the card could have disappeared. That's all I got to say.
So, I know we're getting to know each other. I'm an analytical, logical thinker by profession.
Yep.
Makes me crazy. I'm like, that card went somewhere. Where did it go?
That's, you know what? I didn't even think about that. Because that's what you do for a living, is to have to find out the truth.
Yeah. I'm like, when I'm like, total side story. My friend and I, at one point went to go see Penn and Teller Trick Me. I think that's the name of the show.
Phenomenal.
So we went to the live taping. Never mind that someone almost died. But I was like, trick them. Someone trick them. Because they're so good. Like, I just can't. And then Penn would get up there and just be like, oh yeah, you just held the card in your hand. And I was like, thinking about it for 25 minutes.
I'm more excited to hang up this interview so I can go practice. Then, like, that's that's how stoked I am.
You're welcome. I got you. Magic is just about passing it on. Because there's been some magicians in my life over the years that gave you confidence. It's like for any industry. I love it. But my life is a theme. It's funny. I've been thinking about this recently. It's not that I don't love what I used to do, but when you get everything you want out of a task or a category of something,
no need
it's okay to go on. It's no need to go on. So that, like, people will ask me, will I go back to martial arts? I'm always going to be a martial artist, but I don't need to fight anymore because the risk of injury is not worth my new life that I have.
It's like,
so yeah, that's where I'm at. So I love magic. I love bowling. I love it all. But yeah.
I've never met a childhood magician before.
That's amazing.
This is the second person we've had on this show in the last year that had a major back injury, though.
I'm curious about who he's going to pick in the squabble.
Terrified. Would you rather fight? This is hypothetical and you don't have a back injury. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you rather fight 1 Clydesdale-sized duck or 100 duck-sized Clydesdales?
I don't know what that is. I got to look this up. Clydesdales?
A horse.
The
like
Budweiser
a
horse.
horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses. I
Hold
use
on,
the term
okay.
Clydesdale because it's you specifically. Other people are like, is it
So
depending?
a duck the size of a horse.
Yep.
Or
100 horses the size of a duck. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, a duck the size of the horse.
No,
Wow.
why?
The 100 horses are going to fuck you up. The
How?
size of a duck?
How?
Yeah.
You're just kicking them.
How? Okay,
Stomping
so
the
if
bitches
I kick 3, 4, 5 at one time, there's 95 others.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you ever been bit by a horse?
Have you ever been bit by a duck?
No.
Have you ever seen a
neither.
duck the size of a horse?
Fun fact, I'm actually
No.
mortified of horses. I've ridden them.
Okay, okay.
I'm scared of
Also,
that, and I'm scared of
those
getting
small
kicked.
horses, those small horses are going to be fast as fuck. That duck, are you kidding me? Let me tell you right now. If I see that duck, okay, size of the horse, easy. Do I have any weapons?
No. And neither do they.
Yeah, they don't have weapons either.
Okay.
The next
No
question
problem at
involves
all.
weaponizing.
I'm going to choke
children.
the fuck out of that duck. I'm going to choke it to death. Okay. I'm going to choke it to death. I'm going to whisper while I do. I'm going to say, you shouldn't have fought me today. You shouldn't have fought me. Not concerned whatsoever. I will murder. Put us in a fucking cage. Not concerned
But
whatsoever.
we've never had someone whisper to the duck. We've had people ride
That's
the
amazing.
duck.
Yeah.
We've had people hug the duck and
Yeah.
tame the duck.
I said I'd factory reset it.
No,
No, goose.
no, you
No.
didn't. I
No,
said to
I'll-
Chris, dead serious, deadpan. I said, would you rather fight one bat or one goose? And he looked at me dead in the eye and said, I will factory reset a goose. And I was like, I don't think you will, bro.
Yeah. No, I'll kill that big duck.
I'll kill that big duck.
Big time.
That was amazing.
He said, I'm gonna.
Your
I'm gonna
answers are so
whisper-
fucking good to
I'm gonna
everything.
whisper in its
Yeah.
ear.
Real
You shouldn't
quick,
have fought me today.
and you'll understand this is hosting shows and whatnot. Sometimes you have to carry the show. When I say carry the show, I mean from like even answer to answer. It could be a great guest, but you still have to MC it.
I'm speaking
Your
of
shit is
thinking of a
so
specific
good. Your
person
answers
here.
are so damn good, and they're so buttoned up in terms of the story. There's no need for like, fuck, bro. Thank you for this, by the way.
That's right.
Hey, dude, I fucking better. I've been doing this for a decade now.
I know.
I better
Right.
have
know.
I'm glad you got this
know what
together.
I'm doing.
My hat goes off to you.
In 10 years, we're gonna have Chris come on your show with that card trick.
Well, quick note. I just want to say right now, this is a dream for me to come on here because I don't think I said this at the beginning, dude. When you started your show, man, you were so inspirational for me when I began because actually, I'll
You're gonna
tell
make me
you,
cry.
I was the young kid on the block, very nervous, not knowing what I was doing. Chris's show took off, just
Quick,
killing
yeah.
it. He was the big dick in town. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, are you friends with Chris Cerrone? I am. So he really took me under his wing, helped me out. And then we went to podcast movement. So dude, from bottom of my heart, number one, thanks for all the help 10 years ago. And I'm fucking honored to be on your show today. If 19-year-old me knew that
Sweet.
10 years later, I'd be on the show, man, life comes full circle. So
For
if you came
sure.
on my
You're gonna
show
make
10
me
years
cry.
ago, I appreciate it. And you'll be on my new show whenever we line up in person. So
Not
thank you.
until
Thank
he
you.
learns the card trick, though.
Thank you.
Don't let him on there if he can't hide
No,
that
no, no, no.
card.
He can't do my card trick to me. He's got to do a nuke trick. This is
All
my
right.
gift
We
to
can do that.
him.
We can do
We'll
that.
do that. Or I'll teach a new one when you guys, because most of them you got to be in person after that.
Yeah.
So
That's probably fair. Should we wrap one more question?
If you want,
I'm gonna get the man answer on this. I already know it. Okay, so you don't have a back injury. Hypothetical world.
got it.
9-year-olds. So like 5th graders, right? They're coming in waves. 1, 2, 3. How many 5th graders can you take at one time?
These are phenomenal. When you say take,
I have tons of them. We could be here for another week.
you just battling like
Yeah,
gladiator.
they don't have
style.
weapons. Once
but
once you knock them
this
out,
just sounds
they're out.
terrible. Okay, they're knocked out. I don't have to kill these kids, right?
No,
No.
picture like
Okay,
Like a
good.
video game. How many kids at one time?
Like you knock them out, but then they just kind of disappear. You don't really see
Like-
blood.
Yeah,
They're gone.
You
Fifth
don't have to
graders,
murder children.
Yeah, fifth
fifth graders,
Yeah.
Sure. 9-year-olds.
on cocaine.
9-year-olds. Oh,
No,
okay, 9-year-olds.
To be fair, we used to ask about cocaine and our sponsors were like, no more
Yeah.
cocaine. Okay.
What about cocaine though?
The hypothetical used to be that you had unlimited cocaine to fight them.
The kids.
No, you had the
Oh, you
unlimited
had unlimited
cocaine,
cocaine.
and there were children.
Ah.
We have to cut all the cocaine stuff out.
So no
Anyway.
cocaine.
Okay.
How many
no
fifth
cocaine.
graders can you take at one time? Look at him. Hang on, wait. Don't say anything.
He's giving a mathematical answer.
Don't say anything. Cover your mic.
Oh.
No.
No. I don't have to say it. I say it's around what I said.
Oh, I bet it is too, and I'm gonna just lose it. Go on.
Well, I'm thinking of real life scenarios where I fought children in martial arts at one time.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the other times I
So,
fought
yeah.
real life children.
I may have.
Yeah,
overshot mine.
yeah. So I know how many I could take that I've taken all right now. A lot, guys. Like minimum 50 to 100.
I
Of
hate
these
this
kids.
answer. I
Like-
hate that answer.
But let me tell you why.
You're
why.
gonna take on
I'm
50
not
kids at
gloating.
one time. You're
Ashley,
messed up
he
about
actually
100
has.
horses.
He probably
You're
actually
gonna take
has.
9-year-olds at one time.
Ashley,
Took 106-year-olds last
small
week.
horses are way more ferocious than
Yeah.
9-year-olds. Let
I
me
don't
tell you
know
this
what
right now.
9-year-olds you've been hanging out with.
But
They're
no.
savages.
Until they get punched in the fucking mouth. Okay. That's what. Until they get punched in the mouth. Okay. Kids are
Oh my
weak and
gosh.
they're very strong and they're very weak at the same time. But it also depends on the kids. Because some kids, there's like little warriors out there that are just psychos. So
better
if
hope
you
don't
get one
50 of those.
if you get one of those that like rallies the troops, but here's the thing, I'm going to fucking take out their leader, that little psycho 9-year-old. I'm taking him out and I'm going to say, anyone that wants this treatment, come on. And then I'm going to go from there.
I'm filming the
not-
whole thing.
I'm not worried about it whatsoever.
With that
Take 'em
heavy
on.
camera.
Yeah.
Oh
Take
my
'em on, like-
goodness.
And here's
He
the other
said,
thing.
Yeah, until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah. And then you get excited. You're 25 in. You're like, oh my God, I'm on a roll.
Riding a
right now.
high here.
I'm on a roll. And then you get
Bring
the
'em on.
adrenaline. Let me tell you something. When you're in a fight and
He's
you
gonna
get
change his
hit,
answer and upgrade.
one of two things happens when you get hit. You either want to keep fighting or you don't.
Yeah.
And I know what side I'm on. So when you get hit, shit, let's go. Let's go.
I'm gonna embarrass myself with my crappy TV watching. But I don't know if anyone ever watched Reba, but there's this like scene where the little boy is like trying to play football and like the big kid's like just shoving him over and over. And he's like, now how do you feel about being a kicker? And he's like, I want to hit a kicker.
I've seen that. Yes. I've
That's
seen that
this.
clip.
He's like, kicker. How do you feel about it now? He's like, I'm gonna hit a kicker. It's hilarious. I'll play it for you.
It's good. It's good.
It's a
So
good
yeah,
clip.
that's
Jordan, thank you
Thank you so
for
much.
doing
This was a
this.
blast. We'll have to have you
Oh.
on again. Maybe in
I
Atlanta.
would love that.
We'll come
I would
co-record.
love that.
It'd be so
All
fun.
of the above. We can shoot at my studio.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. This was awesome. Ashley, it's great to meet
It
you
was
and get
so
to know
good
you
to
more.
meet you. I'm gonna be texting you about my back pain and how to solve that.
Please do.
I will
Please
for sure.
do.